Hi everybody, so I think I have a good wireless connection. Let me just double check this. You never really know, but I think I do. And it seems that I do. So it seems that we're going live right now. It's great to be back here because I missed last week because I was hiking and it was great. Utah is just absolutely so beautiful. So it's great to be back. It's Wednesday, of course, so that means food for thought, life lessons from my vegan kitchen. I'm Elysabeth Alfano. Today, we're talking sexual harassment and the complete bullshit that's going on. So I want to just quickly run through my vegan burger, and I'll say shout out to me because I decided that I was going live with no makeup because that's just the gig, people. That's what I'm doing today. So here it is, au naturel from my living room, like always, my living room kitchen. So super quick, let's do the vegan burger so we can get on to what I really want to talk about, which is sexual harassment. And I think more people are affected than you know. I think probably 50% of the women that you know are probably affected. So we'll talk about that in a second. So I make my vegan burgers like this. My Ken, he likes to make black beans from scratch. So not doing that. I get my can, and then I've got my can of black beans, and then I saute up some mushrooms. And when I've got everything all sort of mushy, I drain the black beans, and then I've got my sauteed mushrooms. I mush them together in a bowl. Sometimes I bring them together with some cornmeal. Sometimes I bring them together with some whole wheat flour. Some people use chickpea flour. That's great. Salt and pepper, and then whatever spice you really like. So I'll take things from my garden, like basil I'll stick in there, or I'm always a chipotle fan, so I season with chipotle, but other people season with turmeric or, kind of whatever fries your burger, so to speak. So then I make them into patties, and I put them in my little toaster oven, and I bake them. So couldn't be any easier than that. And then I put them on fitness bread. Now, of course, most people put them on buns because that's what you do with a burger. But if you're trying to watch your weight like me, I'm forever cursed. I'm on fitness bread, and I've got some avocado and red pepper and tomato, and I put more chipotle on it, hot sauce because I just want it spicy, and I do mustard. Yes, I do mustard and chipotle. And it looks something like this. It's super messy and wildly unattractive. There's no good way to eat it, but That's my vegan burger. It's super good, super fast, and I'm sticking to it. So I encourage you to try it. Now let's talk sexual harassment. So I'm pissed. I don't know about everybody else, but I just feel like this happens all the time, and we think that we are further ahead than we are, and then you realize that so many people are affected. So I think one of the reasons why Harvey Weinstein allegedly picks on younger women, and so many men do, is because, like, if you read what Gwyneth Paltrow said, she's 21 or 22, she's in the industry, it doesn't occur to her. First of all, as a young woman, it doesn't occur to you that some 50-year-old guy is going to be hanging on you. You're out there, you're all excited about a new career, you've got your resume, you've done your tape or whatever you do in Hollywood, but even if you're not in Hollywood, this happens everywhere. You're looking for a job in public health or the hotel industry, you've got your resume, you're all excited, and it doesn't occur to you that the person on the opposite side of the desk in broad daylight, who's double your age, if not more, would be trying to do anything that isn't just hire you or not hire you. Either way, honestly, who cares? So I know in my situation, I was 21 and I spoke French, and I was trying to get a job in the hotel industry. So I went to New York to see if I could get a job with the Le Méridien, and I interviewed with the head of marketing for the US, and he looked at my resume, and he was chatty, and I thought he was so nice to me because I had an impressive resume. Why would I think anything else? It never occurred to me, like I said before, that someone opposite the desk in broad daylight would take a meeting and act any other way than professional. And because I have zero interest in this blob across from me, none of this dawned on me. And I had no experience. I just thought, well, this is how it goes in interviews. He's being really nice to me because he really believes in me. He really thinks that I'm talented. So he, says, you've got a great resume. This is something special. You're too good for New York. I'm going to try to set you up with interviews in Paris. You should be in Paris. If you can get yourself to Paris, I can line up all of these interviews for you. So I was on the verge of moving to Paris anyways, and the good part of the story is that it's impetus for me to move to Paris. And so I thought, well, okay, this is my big break. This is somebody who's championing me. And I go to Paris, and lo and behold, I land a job on my own with IBM. And he's livid. Now, I had given him my phone number in Paris because, again, I thought this person was, he said he was going to line me up with all these interviews with all these major hotel chains because I spoke French and English, and I was this, asset that was going to be really good for hotels. So I thought. Now, oddly enough, I ended up through a friend of a friend, landed something immediately with IBM. So I was already set. Well, I didn't know that would happen, so I had given him my information so that we could work on these interviews. As soon as I get a job with IBM, he's livid. He's calling me, I want to say almost every night. Because of the time difference, he's calling me at like 1 a.m, 3 a.m, waking me up with these lewd and disgusting phone calls about it was bedtime in Paris and what he envisioned and what he wanted, and could I hear the bolero music behind him, and he was coming to Paris and had to see me, and he was going to set things right because I should never be with IBM. I should follow his footsteps in the hotel industry. Luckily, and this is happening, if you can believe it, on different continents. So you just think like, how fucking crazy are people? And all this backlash against the women who've come out about Harvey Weinstein, it just is unfathomable to me that people would place it on a young 22-year-old to fend off a 55-year-old. Not even, who would know that you could go to Harvey's hotel room and it would be anything else than pick up a script or have a casting call? Or nobody would think that way if you're 22 because you're too naive. That's why they pick on 22-year-olds. Anyway, so in my instance, we are continents away. He, I think now in hindsight, had wanted to have an ongoing affair out of the country because he was always in France on business, and he was married, of course, and this would be, he could come on expense account to Paris once a month, and this in his sick little mind, I think he thought he was going to set that up here. Obviously, that's not the case. I wasn't interested in this or was honestly freaked out and frightened by this. He said that he was coming to Paris right away, and I literally picked up and I moved to a girlfriend's house, and I stayed there until he had left the country because he was coming to my building. There are no doormen in France, so he's coming to my building. He was trying to get into my apartment. I literally had to move. So what I say to anybody who blames the young child, basically, that's complete bullshit. And none of this will ever change unless men get behind it too. So of course for the women, I say, when in doubt, don't. One of my very favorite expressions, when in doubt, don't. Your gut reaction is always the right one. And when something gets creepy, even your gut will tell you. So we talked about this before. You're never going to regret sticking up for yourself. So that's always a wonderful thing. So when in doubt, don't. And if you can avoid and get away, wonderful. If you have to confront and say, no, I won't, of course, do that. No one will make your career but you. No matter how much Mr. Big Fatty on the other end, Mr. 50-year-old disgusting entity thinks that he's going to wrap the world around for you. Nobody makes your career but you. That will always be the case. When in doubt, don't. Speak up for yourself and tell whomever you want. And if someone's trying to convince you not to, big, huge, fat old red flag. And more than anything, it's not going to happen if only women stand up for women. Men also have to say, this is complete bullshit. And that means everything. That doesn't mean just Harvey Weinstein and his whatever. That means everybody. So the little jokes here and there, the objectifying women when, you're in the hot tub because it's fun, or the jokes that people say on the, none of it's okay. Because it all says like, women are there to be our little play toy that we manipulate. So even the on the side jokes that people say, and I maybe because I hang out with older people, but I find there's still a generation out there that thinks this is all okay, and it's not okay. So women are standing up, hooray, hooray. Men have to stand up too. It's my 2 cents, people. So I will leave you with when in doubt, don't, which is always my very favorite expression. I have to say I got it from Oprah, so thanks, Oprah. When in doubt, don't. Vegan burgers are pretty easy to make and super good, and you will never regret sticking up for yourself. So this bullshit has to change, and it changes not just with women, it changes with men. All right, I'll get off my soapbox. Really happy to not be in makeup today, so thanks everybody for supporting me with that, and I will see you next week when we do life lessons from my vegan kitchen. Food for thought. My name's Elysabeth Alfano, and remember to be vegan. Bye, folks.